fizik, Dr. Kudit Singh, student dan ahli-ahli astronomi kita. Ramai dalam ni, Emma pun ada daripada Sabah. Terima kasih kepada semua yang hadir pada malam ni. Terima kasih banyak. Kita akan membuka cerita tentang era baru astronomi di USM yang telah lama Dr. Chong bersama Kelab Astronomi membantu Muzium dan Galeri Tuanku Fauziah untuk menjalankan projek komuniti dalam di bawah Creative Link Muzium Masuk Kampung. Yang Dr. Chong kata tadi betul, kita pusing satu Malaysia, Langkawi, Kuching, kita pergi ke Kuala Kangsar, kita pergi kepada Teluk Intan, di merata-merata tempat di seluruh Malaysia. Kita sebelum pandemik ni kita masuk di bawah Creative Link. Sekarang era baru kita cadangkan banyak projek yang akan berlaku secara maya ataupun secara fizikal dengan mengikut SOP yang telah ditetapkan. Ya, mungkin saya nak beri sedikit sepatah kedua kata daripada Cik Asno untuk memulakan bagi sedikit pada kata laluan. Silakan Cik Asno.
Okay. Right. Wow, ada sound daripada planet mana ni? somebody is watching from
yeah.
Anyway, thank you Azwan. I would like to welcome everybody lah kepada dalam sesi ini. We call this session sembang atas talian ataupun SAT, which means that it is a casual session. It is not an academic or paper presentation session. So it's more like a chat between friends and those who share the same interest with not only astronomy but with anything related to space science or anything related to physics. And of course, for me, everything is connected. So as an artist or as a person trained from the disciplines of the arts, I am very open to the sciences, and I've been working with Dr. Chong for I don't know how long, maybe already nearly 20 years old. 20 years.
Getting younger.
So Dr. Chong, of course, like all of us, he is our Yoda of astronomy lah, including for me. So I don't want to delay anymore. Saya ucapkan terima kasih to everybody, and please share this session. I hope this session will be an interesting, enlightening sharing session. Maybe there are more announcements or more whatever that we want to share. We can share tonight, and whatever we want to discuss, we can discuss tonight. And please share your this session in your Facebook, yeah. Okay, that's it. Azwan, pass to you back.
Yeah.
Silakan Azwan.
Ya, Asno. Okay, Dr. Chong, I give.
Ya, Azwan akan tunjuk gambar bukan? Azwan.
Betul Dr. Chong, kita akan share dari semasa ke semasa Dr. Chong.
Masa ke semasa, okay.
Betul Dr. Chong.
I start off. So, a very good evening to everyone. Our Pengarah Museum, Professor Hasno Jamal bin Saidon, alright. Encik Aizwan Asmi from Museum. Our Dr. John Su Yuhan from School of Physics, USM. Mr. Lim Choon Kiat, our old, what they call astronomy enthusiast. He's on his own now. We hope he can do even better, alright. And then the members of the USM Astronomy Club, our Rachel Chiu, and this Joanne Chong and other members, okay. So actually, I will start off because they put me as a moderator. I would prefer to be a panel speaker, but it's okay. I will start by doing this. I will just give a bit of brief history of what we have been doing in museum. Right? After that, everyone can make a comment. All right. So I'll share now my screen. Oh, there's a screen one. Can you see my PowerPoint? Aizwan, boleh tengok PowerPoint saya?
Yes, Dr. Chong can see now.
Can see, okay. So basically, this is the new astronomy era in USM. So basically, it's our Tuanku Fauziah Museum and Galeri USM. All right, they named it after the previously our Raja Permaisuri Agong. All right, Permaisuri of our young Diputu Agong at that time was the Raja of Paris. So now, so this is the main entrance. So some of you in the world may not know about this. Very, very impressive colonial Roman collar masterpiece. And I've been in this museum for so many years. I've not seen a single crack on the floor or on the wall. Not a single one. There's other buildings in USL, I don't say. very young, after 10 years, crack on the floor and on the wall, but not a single crack after all these years. This is another nice view, panoramic view of the museum. So basically, it started when the USM started in the 1970s as an art museum, right? But in 1994, it was turned into an art and science museum by our then Vice Chancellor since 1994. And they asked, is it possible to promote astronomy there? So the USM Astronomy Club, for which I was a club advisor, we say yes. And since then, we have been promoting a lot of activities in the museum and also outreach, right? So a lot of events since then, a lot of kinds of activity, day and night, right? And then what they call, even people from other places in Malaysia, Singapore, they will come to the museum in groups, right? And even some of the multinational company, as I said earlier, they will book the museum for the whole day, for their so-called family day, to do all kinds of activity for stargazing and so on. Very nice, all right? Since 1994. So we have been, in a sense, with the museum for 27 tahun, for 27 years, if you include this year as one, all right? So, of course, the main player at that time was USM Astronomy Club. But then later on, I retired in 2015. You have the Astronomical Society of Penang, Pertubuhan Astronomi Pulau Pinang. So we also are part of it. So basically now, I would say that there are 3 groups of people that can help Muzium Galeri Tuanku Fauziah MGTF to do astronomy for the future. With number 1, USM Astronomy Club. Number 2 is our Astronomical Society of Penang. And number 3 is the Astronomy Community of Penang. So for the past 30 over years, since 1986, the USM Club started, we have built up a good network of astronomy community in Penang. Many amateur astronomers, they are working people, formerly our students, now working, or new astronomy enthusiasts from primary school, secondary school, college, to even working, right? And then there are many of the schools in Penang, they have the astronomy club, they are a part of our network. So these 3 groups of people can help the Muzium and Gallery for the era Baru Astronomi di USM. So I will later on inform I think I'll send to all of you that sometime early this year, I sent to Penang Haslo proposal to revive the astronomy activity in MGTM, and we are so happy that he gave us a big wing, the northern wing of the first floor. I measured 650 square meters on the first floor to promote astronomy. So we hope next year we have the good funding from the next Chancellor USM, then we can put Muzium and Galeri Tuanku Fauziah, and let's hope so. Tak ada PKB lagi ya, no more MCO. Then we will put MGTM on the Malaysian and world astronomy map, right? This is what I'm going to say. So now later on, I'm going to show you what Encik Aizwan said. They have designed a kind of not as a permanent feature. Permanent feature, we hope, like what Pengarah said, we hope to apply to get a good observatory for the museum. But they are now setting up this. They're going to do it. They are setting this up, Cosmos section of the museum, where we can do a lot of astronomy, especially practical, right? So now I will stop it, and then we can start the discussion, the perbincangan. Wait a minute. Wait. All right, stop discussing. So just to introduce our Dr. Su Yu Han is our physics lecturer in senior physics lecturer in School of Physics USM, also teaching the astronomy courses. And then and Mr. Lim Choon Kiat, of course, no need to introduce, well-known astronomy celebrity in Penang, all right, also our own member, right? And of course, our Rachel Teo, Joanne Chong, present president, past president of the USM Club and the USM Club members. And of course, Encik Aizwan Azmi and Jamil Zakaria, of course, Pengarah Hasnul from the Muzium Galeri. Okay, so we hope that with all this, what they call, I use the term Pengarah, we actually have now, with the three groups of people plus the museum shop, a critical mass. We have all the people who can do it. So with this critical mass, so what are we waiting for? Right? Okay, so we can start off. So anyone can start a discussion.
Dr. Chong, may I explain a bit about the proposal that we put up to the Vice Chancellors and the rest of the top management that was actually approved. Aizwan, ada tak proposal tu? Aizwan, can we share?
I also got the proposal I sent to Pengarah Hasnul. I can show mine later.
hold on. I hope Azwan ada. Do you have Dr. Chong? Or you can I can share from you. I don't have with me now. If you can share.
Okay. So so everyone have to be patient. I will just briefly run through things. So I tell you, pengarah, please be patient. The proposal, I use the word, it is massive. All right. So now,
No, not the proposal. I mean the drawings, the proposed cosmos, the cosmos.
I have the picture
Ah.
of cosmos. Okay,
Yeah.
Share now. Proposed cosmos.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Now I don't know how to share my screen that got the cosmos. Wait, let me see.
Unshare first and then share balik.
I got it. Share. Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now, as I show the picture, pengarah, you make your comments.
Okay. Good. So, because this part maybe Dr. Cho doesn't know much about.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. All right. This is our plan. When I came back actually. Nanti dulu Dr. Chong, sabar. One by one.
Sorry.
Right. Okay. So when I came back, I think January, early this year, among the first things that I did was to propose this what we call cosmos. Okay, the tapak is behind the building, so it's actually surrounded by the MGTF main building, and on the left you see that is the Global Archaeological Research Center, and we are actually taking this photo from the office block. So it's very nice enclosed area that can be used to do many different types of activities, including at night. So we call it's a parking space actually, but this one before we tar it nicely. Now it's very nice. The ground is very nice. We call this Dataran Cosmos. Okay.
Yes.
For the time being lah, Dataran Cosmos. And because of the MCO, most of the things that we do or activities that we will do in the future before the pandemic becomes endemic is to do it outside. We have to do most of the things outside. So we will probably put up a tent and we do most of our activities in this particular area. All right, Dr. Chong, another slide. Yeah. Okay, this is specifically the area where we propose to put originally 3 stacks of container. Okay, the container was originally planned to accommodate our need to store our collections. We have too many collections already, so we need to professionally store, and we need additional space to store our collections. But rather than just simply a place to store our collection, we also want it to be a multi-purpose space. So we want to turn the whole space here, instead of just a storage, a container, into also an observation deck for stargazing, for bird watching, and so on and so forth. Okay, Dr. Chong, next slide. Okay, this is the original drawing by me and also Hasnizam. Encik Hasnizam is the curator of MGTF. Okay, this I will show some preliminary ideas lah. Okay, next one. Okay, so we plan to blacken the whole dinding or darken it. We chose dark purple as the color, so the whole dinding will be dark, so it will be nice at night also. Kalau if we do any kind of stargazing activities at night lah, but we can also do activities during the day. It's just that during the day we have to put tent lah because of the weather kan, kalau panas lah. Okay, next slide. You see there I even put a sliding where people can slide from the from the middle floor. People can also use it as a playground. I want it to be like a learning playground. Doesn't look so orang kata menakutkan kan. Next slide. This one are all preliminary sketches here. So this one from Afghanistan, how we want to stack the container. Next one. We were testing out the ideas. Okay. So we also plan to do orang kata initially a cafe, but then we decided to have a cafe, a container cafe, not over here but in front. in front of the museum itself. That one was also originally approved by the university. Okay, next slide. Right. Okay, next slide. These are all preliminary ideas. Okay.
Wonderful.
Next slide. So ni belum final lah. Okay, next one. We were playing around how to stack the container. Alright. Okay, next one. This is a bit almost there. Again, as you can see, 3-story. I was planning to have the top part as an observation deck that which you can have a ramp. Apa dipanggil catwalk. You can catwalk around on top of the roof of the building. And the roof of MGTF is interesting because if you can go to the, you can walk on the ramp on that building, you can see 360 degree. The whole 360 degree of the campus, yeah, scene of the campus. Next one. So this is roughly the conceptual visual. Okay, next. Okay. Next. Right, next. So at night, we will try to use, we plan to use projection mapping using videos, or what we call now, what they call now projection mapping, to create this spectacle of immersing ourselves in the night sky. Okay, at the same time, other than the spectacle, we also make it more informative, and of course, Dr. Chong can help us on that. And we also they can also be used as a space for showing films, on space, or doing any gigs, concert performances. Okay, so it can be used for many things. Okay. All right, next. This is the model. We did a mock-up, a 3D mock-up of the space that we propose. Right, next. Okay, next one.
I think this is the last slide. Oh,
Last
yeah.
one, eh? I think ada lagi. Okay, ini mock-up dia. Okay. Next one. Ada 3D. There are 2 3Ds. Okay, next one. Ada lagi. These are all mock-ups.
Wow, nice.
The van already done. We already have the van and the lorry. We have that, and the van and the lorry look exactly like that. So, but now it is stationary. It can't go anywhere. So if we can rentas degree after this, of course we will be moving like we did before. Okay. So next one, I want to show you guys the. Okay, this is the 3D one. Okay, this is the final. This is actually from the development office. So this is the final one. Okay. Okay. Next angle. Okay. So that's, but this one without the texture, without the dark paint and everything, the finishing. But this is the structurally, this is how it will look like.
Yes.
Okay. So please send us prayer that this project can be actualized. So that we can enjoy this space. Eventually, the idea is we want to connect this to the whole boom or rooftop of the building. So that's about it from me. Okay, Dr. Chong, back to you. Thank you.
So Pengarah Hasno, is there any timeline for this Cosmos section?
Okay, I have to that what I just presented actually is the good news.
Yeah.
The bad news is in September the project was postponed.
I see.
The status now that I can share, the official status, the project was postponed in September. It was already approved. We already moving towards it, but then we were asked to stop. It was postponed. So hopefully, and it was postponed because of financial situation with the government. So hopefully, miracle can happen. We can resume the project because it has already been approved originally. So hopefully that will be that project will be approved together with few other things. We also plan to have a cafe. We have another one is called Al Hilal. Al Hilal, I don't have it here. I'm not sure whether I have it here. Al Hilal is a projection system. Al Hilal has been installed. It's a projection system on the on the side wall of the museum. It's a expensive projection system actually that can be used to showcase materials related to astronomy, to the stars, to space art. But it is a wall, and we can design the wall to be used as a way of telling stories about space. So that one has been installed. I'm not sure whether I have the picture or not, but that one I will keep on showing in the Facebook of MGTF. Apa ni? Apabila kita ada program lah. So that will probably be launched mid of this month. Hopefully, will be launched mid of this month with a very nice short video film by Anderson E. So we call it Al Hilal, means crescent moon, and we want it to be a place where we can all share with people. We can create interest about astronomy and about space science, about like what Emma is doing now. Apa tu dia panggil? Dark sky and so on and so forth. Okay, that one is completed. That one has been installed. But the one that I just showed, I hope you guys can send in good vibration that project will be re-implemented and will be approved, will be actualized. So the timeline is supposed to be before the end of this year, but now it has been postponed. The other one is the 650 square feet space that we had already emptied for Dr. Chong Kiat and the rest of you to figure out to turn into indoor learning space for astronomy or anything related to space science and physics. That one is currently open-ended. I have some drawings, but it's not finished yet, so better not show. So that will be the next. That will be another one, another project. So we have that space also that we can utilize. We can think about how to turn that space. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Pengarah. CK, Choon Kiat, because Pengarah said the Al Hilal section, you can show pictures of the moon on the high definition bright projector. Because Choon Kiat, Pengarah, also got a lot of his own astrophoto taken from Bali Pulau. Maybe Choon Kiat, you can pass some to the Pengarah, they can show also. And we have a big community of astrophotographers right here in Penang. I can easily name 5 of them. So we can keep on rotate those pictures taken from Penang. Many of them are from Bali Pulau.
What we can do, Dr. Chong and kawan-kawan semua, we need to have we need to have Aizwan or Norman or Jamil has to curate together with Afzal Nizam. Curate night programs monthly. Where we feature or showcase, like for example, Chong Kiat's astrophotography. And then we have this Emma was saying this girl
Shahira.
Shahira. We can showcase her works as well. So, but we need to curate that. We need to arrange that. But that will be, I welcome that. Please, Chong Kiat, Chong Kiat ada
banyak gambar. Okay. Now the other one, Choon Kiat, any comment on what Pengarah said about the cosmos section for stargazing? So what things we can do there? What do you think we can do there?
The one that you said, the 650-meter one, right?
No. The one behind the museum, the cosmos, where they put the container there.
Yes.
Pengarah showed a lot of pictures lah. So
Yes.
of course I got in my mind what to do, but what else you can do?
We have to see the place first. I think it will be very interesting because I think by the design that is shown by the Pengara, it's actually a very unique design.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any museum that has this kind of design, you see. So of course we can do a lot of there's a lot of area there that we can utilize. One is like that, like Pengara said, we can walk around there. There's a very high, it's actually on a very high ground there. So you can see a lot of things there from there, so So yeah, it could be a nice, maybe a small stargazing, private stargazing session up there. We can have more people stargazing down also, but yeah. But basically it's very interesting. That design is actually very unique.
Of course, during daytime, CK we can show solar observation.
Yes, definitely we can do a solar observation from there. We can put a telescope up there. If the place is too small, then we can beam the live image down. Maybe like you said that projector, right? The one they said our Hila one. Maybe you can do some live projection, live sky projection directly to the projector and beam it to the wall also can.
Yeah.
So there's a very good how to say many possibility lah, many possibility. So but the thing that we'll see how it's organized because it's going to be done at night, right? So how the traffic, how the USM organize people to come in at night, to USM, whether there's any security problem or other things, so that won't be discussed later lah, right? So
of course, we have our Saudi Emma Zulaiha Zulkifli. Emma Pengara has not mentioned you just now. So what do you think we can help to promote astronomy in Muzium and Galeri Tuanku Fauziah? Emma, please.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Dr. Chong. You can hear me, right?
Yes, can see you also.
Yeah, okay. Nice. From what I see, because what I'm fighting for right now is on the dark sky and also advocating in light pollution. And I like if that place can be, we can share about the knowledge on the light pollution and have the gallery there. When people go there, they can see, they can learn not only having fun of stargazing, but they can learn on the information about stars and also how we can take care of our stars, by using we can take care of our lights, we control our light, guna lampu yang betul kan, kita letakkan information kat situ. And like you said, even the gambar-gambar yang dihasilkan macam daripada si Lim Choon Kiat, daripada all the astrophotographers around the Penang, you can gather that and letak dekat situ and people like, okay, you have that one pusat yang macam semua gambar-gambar Pulau Pinang ada kat situ. So it can be nice, orang tahu kat mana, so diorang boleh I think people bila photographers kan or any artist kan, diorang ni bila gambar tak boleh macam ni kan, kita tak simpan, kita kena letak at somewhere so orang boleh nampak. So if that place and because betul tengok tempat ni macam I see the container and also bila Profesor cakap tadi nak buat cafe, cantik lah kalau dah ada, it's a place that people can lepak and also they can learn and having fun together.
Yeah. And then Emma, if there are big events in museum, we hope Pengara will invite Emma, Lokman and Shahira come to museum to promote for us.
Of course. We fly from Sabah to Penang.
Yeah. Big event.
Yeah. Once the border buka, we go to Penang. Yeah.
TYT, VVIP, we do a big event. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, saya tambah satu. Saya ada soalan untuk Emma ya. So in this case macam ini bagaimana kita nak preserve the dark sky while we want to promote astronomy, and we have this kind of projection system, want to tarik orang ramai. Tapi kita juga nak jaga deep sky. So how can we do it? Keep the thing good for dark sky, but also we want to attract people.
Betul. kita kena fikir kita ni bukan we are not like insect tau. We are like insect. Kita ni attracted to lights. Tapi all the projection semua lampu and all the projections better towards the ground. Kita memang tak boleh, we cannot turn it off, but we can minimize the masa yang digunakan. So we have the time period lah. Kita tak boleh the projection tak boleh like one whole night. Dia akan membazirkan tenaga, akan membazirkan budget. So also the lights yang dipakai tu pun kena shielded, and also semua yang pandang ke bawah, and also it's warm light. So when you have this warm light kan, like if you go to any high end punya resort kan, dia akan pakai lampu warna warm like 3000 Kelvin. And dia nampak like ambient punya surrounding. So kita tak boleh letak spotlight. So kita harap nanti Prof. Asma tak letak spotlight dekat tempat ni. So kita kena letak like all the small lights, although ada banyak lampu, tapi all the ambient lights yang dekat, you know like the garden punya lights kan. So you can letak garden punya light, ada yang solar punya. So kita pakai, we have to minimum our lights, pakai yang ambient color, warm color, and also we need to have masa, we have to restrict the masa. And the best thing is we have kalau lampu kan, the best thing pakai adalah movement control lampu, detector. So when you ada orang lalu je boleh dia on. Or you have that intensity lah, you can you have that we can control your intensity tu. So instead of like you letak 100% intensity, you letak 70%. So kalau ada orang you letak 100%, or lesser the better lah. So from 70% to 50%. So macam tu lah, we have to control our lights. So you have to plan kat mana nak letak lampu tu, and kat mana projek tu. So macam ni yang nampak sekarang ni dia projek dekat dinding. So apa tu, because kita nak tuju kat orang, so maybe kita ada few masa kot, few hours kot. So kita tak boleh letak sepanjang malam sebabkan if the project, I hope the projection dia tak terlampau cerah. I don't think the project will be terlampau cerah. So bila projection kan, orang nak stargazing dia akan still bagi silau juga. So I think the projection low light
I have
lah.
to minta maaf, saya kena bagi konteks sikit lah. Projection ni dia bukan di tempat stargazing. Projection ni di tempat lain. Yang saya tunjuk tadi tu yang stargazing punya tempat tu Cosmos. Okay, yang Cosmos tu the other side. That one can be as total as dark as you want to lah. Okay, that one can be totally dark, can be because yang itu memang kita boleh control. Di situ tidak ada lampu jalan dan sebagainya. Ada rasanya satu, tapi kita boleh control lah. This one is different side. This one is called Al Hilal. The Al Hilal is on the tepi lah. I think if you know MGTF, dia dekat tepi. So this one, the only source of light, if we want to, can just be the projector. And the projector, of course, kita boleh control dia punya luminance dan sebagainya. Kita boleh control. Cuma kawasan di keliling tu, lampu-lampu di keliling tu, kita boleh work with pembangunan. Apabila kita buat when we do our gig, when we do our function, we totally darken that space.
Yes.
We ask them to allow to because maybe they got the grid system, and we totally darken, and you can script the projection. That's why I say you have to curate, but maybe the word curate is wrong lah. You have to direct the presentation. So it's like a story, it's like a film, like, so we like it can be lecture, but I don't choose lecture because I don't think people like to hear lecture, and people don't like khutbah also. So we have to come up with a nice story about dark sky. But ironically, of course, we are using the projector. But then maybe at one point we totally projector tu kita boleh control, boleh tutup terus. We can close it up, and then at that time maybe we can lead the view towards the sky, and we apa orang kata, pujuk orang untuk okay, this is what happen when kita dapat keadaan yang totally gelap, tak ada gangguan lampu ataupun tak ada gangguan panggil pencemaran kan. So we have to come up with interesting story or script to orang kata pujuk orang kan, to advocate dark sky. So but this one kita pun limit, kita don't want to do it every night. Only when there is a function that we have a gig, anything that has to do with the sky, whatever, we will use it. So waktu lain kita tak guna lah. And normally when we do it, we will do it only maybe maximum 1 hour, and we will probably look for people to datang. So that is one thing that we can work on lah. We can streamline and tengok macam mana. But this one already installed. Okay, this one we already sudah siap lah, so ready. So Chong Kiat can come in to showcase if you want to. Anybody lah, I open up to anybody. In fact, if Astronomy Club has interesting materials that they want to showcase, where people can sort of sit around it and tengok. Dia macam wayang pacak lah. Macam kita waktu kecil dulu kita tengok wayang pacak kan, kita tengok wayang kat luar kan. So something like that. For me, this is a way of, because we can't bring people all the time into the building now with MCO and so on. They don't allow people to go into the building. Budak-budak tak boleh. Kalau ikut sekarang, I cannot allow kids to come in. But outside they can. So I need to make use of whatever outside. Okay.
Now, I have one suggestion. Actually, there are many of the presentation software on your laptop. The stars are very dim, but there are special presentation software where you project it on the wall. Wow, you can see a Burus constellation on the sky. So in other words, a presentation show on the wall, but the stars and the lights are very bright. And at the same time, you show, let's say, the Burus Orion on the wall, and Orion is on top at the same time. I've done it before, in some of the school, in this case, where on the wall, we project onto the wall the what you call a presentation star chart, and Azar, which is laser pointer, is showing the student, this is what Burus. We can do that. So they project certain of those what you call constellation as one object there, and at the same time you can see the sky. We can do that. And by the way, John, if you know the museum well, I feel that Ahli is a very strategic location, because as you come from Chantulri, you go towards the museum. There you see the wall. The Cosmos section is behind the museum. So this is a strategic proposition. The first thing you see when you come to the museum is this wall. At night, very, very prominent. Very, very prominent. Yeah.
So anybody who has some ideas of how to, if they want to use the video to showcase anything that related to the sky, anything about astronomy, please share with us and use this, okay?
Like for example, with this, you can give uncountable astronomy talk on the wall.
Can.
The latest discovery, for example, the past few years, two black holes collide. Black hole neutron star collide and give off gravitational wave. They show it on the wall. Very nice. Very nice.
This one, this
like you said, you buat dekat, ingat, remember dulu kita ada one planetarium kecil, dome kecil kan dalam bilik kan. Now you take it out. So now kita buat kalau it's a backup plan also lah. Kalau stargazing tak ada berawan ke apa kan, you can do it here. Apa tu? Lepas tu kalau ada kau tak berawan pun, and then kita boleh guna ni, letak teleskop sini, and you can like project what you are looking in the telescope, letak sini.
Saya punya skrip macam ni. Saya punya skrip, they hear lecture. For example, Dr. Chom or you give a lecture, or you showcase something. You showcase here, everybody hang out here and showcasing. And then we go through jalan kat belakang tu, our herb garden. We go to that cosmos, dataran cosmos, to the container one. Then that is the space where everything is totally dark. Then we can, tapi ada tempat untuk kita naik atas lah. Kita do the stargazing in that space. So this space is for lecture, showcase kan. Macam ini kira macam PowerPoint lah. So this one is where you teach. Then we go to the dataran cosmos to go and do the stargazing. That one we can totally make it dark. This one also sebab ini ada lampu jalan, so tak betul-betul gelap lah waktu ni. Okay, so it looks something like this.
Kalau lampu jalan tu kan macam saya ada kontak dengan pelajar daripada Presiden Klub Astronomi UNIZA. Dia ada buat surat kepada VC tu juga. Macam mungkin ni pun boleh buat juga. Kata untuk kawasan certain area sini ni kita boleh tukar lampu ni ataupun
boleh.
macam saya tadi lah. Mungkin dia tukar lampu jalan diorang tu.
Boleh. Kita saya boleh propose, insyaAllah, no problem. Sebab kita panggil pemurnian kawasan Bukit Janatun. This one we call it Bukit Janatun. So it includes, you know, the jungle, lembah durian. Lembah durian tu pun sekali kita agak sebagai sebahagian daripada the whole habitat, the whole ecology lah, so to speak. So the museum is strategic. That's why I call it langit dan bumi. It is not just about the langit, but it is also about the ecology, the habitat, the earth, the animals, the birds kan. Kalau pagi-pagi dengan petang, you can hear the symphony of the birds. I mean, like literally they sang for you. So that can also be nice. I have a lecturer from biology. They are exploring this new area about using sound but from very scientific biological approach. So that can also be something that we can explore. So we can combine. It's not just about langit, tetapi juga tentang bumi kan. So will be very interesting.
Yeah, Pernah can invite some of the biology lecturer, and I don't know whether you know Pengarah Hasnum, the birdman of Penang, Mr. Kanda Kumar. He used his binoculars in the jungle to look for the birds. Expert, you know. I know him for many years. So I can ask people, nature lovers, to come and give talk at your Al Hilal section. Choong Kiat, you look at the projector, it's very bright, huh? This is daytime, you know. Daytime, the moon is so bright.
I think.
No, this one night.
See the sky above the tree, very bright, huh? Yeah.
It's still bright, yeah. Maybe about dusk lah. But it's the projector is very bright, very nice.
Yeah, very nice. John, so I don't want to say anything more. So I'm sure you have a lot to say. I don't know tell you what to say. All right. Because in a sense, you are in the position that I was last time, the advisor to the USM Astronomy Club. I'm sure you have a lot to say. Huh? You and your club, and of course, the School of Physics. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chong. Thank you, Dr. Hasno. So for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. John from School of Physics and currently the penasihat for the Club Astronomi USM. So I really like the Cosmos area just now. You know, I think the colors really stand out, and it really makes us feel like, wow, it's like really some place that we really want to at least visit once, right? So I was just now I was looking at the picture and I was thinking, how can we actually invite or attract more people to come? I think that is one thing. If you really want to make sure that to get crowds or people to come and see, right? Because we will always get new students coming in each year. So we want to make it such that it is so good that all the new students will at least want to come to this place. It's like some place that is Instagrammable, you know, like something that you want to clock in, that you want to take a photo in front of to show your friends, you know. And I was thinking another plan, since just now Dr. Asnu mentioned that there is a cafe over there. And one thing I can combine the cafe to this place is that if we can actually create a cafe that is astronomical theme. Wow. That means maybe you make it like a very beautiful inside with planets and all that. If you have a menu that is like, you know, like, I don't know, like you just jumble some words, let's say roti Jupiter, or, you know, this kind of thing, or some sort of like drink that has like, I don't know how you put it, maybe like a black colored drink with white dots, so it looks like some star colored, smoothie. Who knows, we might even attract, Penang foodie, or like people, I mean, we all know Penang people love food, right? So when people hear of, hey, there's something interesting here that we want to try, then people will come, and when they try this, whatever interesting cuisine this is, you know, astro theme, and then they will visit the place, right? So you can see that this is something that we can not only attract people of USM and also people outside over there. Right, so that's my second idea. I have also other ideas, but since we are looking at this picture over here, right? So I think we can actually, on top of just giving lectures or like some showcase and all that, we can, I mean, this is a screen, right? If we have good speakers around it, we can even make like movies, right? If there are some interesting astronomical movies, you have good speakers that are around there. It can be some sort of like, I mean, it's quite cool to have an outdoor amphitheater, right? It's something like let's say we can let's say choose a movie, and then we can say students can come and visit, and then it can be like some just put chairs around to watch a movie outdoors. How does it feel like? I've never done this before, and I think it would be something interesting. It would be something like attractive, maybe like for example Interstellar. So while you have stars above your head, you are looking at a movie that's very sciencey and spacey. I think that can be done as well, right? And I think the students probably I mean, since we are always trying to target students, people of the younger age, I'm sure those like Rachel and your team, you all can also give some interesting ideas. What actually attracts the young people to come to see this kind of things, right? So I would say I'm looking forward to hear Rachel and the others if you have any plans and ideas, or even you can have events over there. The students, you can actually do some like interesting talks, or like I'm not sure how big is the space and how much things can you do, right? It can be like a carnival, right? You can have like some carnival down there and then they visit. I don't know. So I think that's actually a lot of things, right? So the main thing is that once it's built, we must really make sure that it is well known everywhere and people will come. We want to attract the crowd. Yeah, someone said Chendo Comet Durian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think things like that will actually attract people who want to come. The foodies all over Penang, sure they will swarm to USM to want to try this kind of thing, right? Yeah. So
definitely.
maybe how about Rachel and the other students? Do you all have any comments on this?
Rachel Teo, Joanne Chong, please pick up. So now the Pengarah is welcoming USM Club with open hands. Please come and promote astronomy in the museum. It's not the idea of just to promote for the sake of promotion. Promote and bring the excitement for astronomy, the interest of astronomy, and then to touch the people's heart, you see. Yeah. So Rachel, Joanne, any comment from your side?
Hello.
So say your name first.
Hi, I'm Joanne.
Joanne, Joanne Chong Yala, YGP Club sekarang USM.
Yeah, hi. So yeah, I agree with Dr. John a lot about how the cafe can attract people if it's like really beautiful, and how young people nowadays like take pictures and stuff. But yeah, for the club we mostly plan for online events. But I think if we want us to promote the museum and the astronomy section, we can do like an online virtual tour about the museum myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the current problem probably is the pandemic, right? And the restrictions, for all these kind of crowd events. But I hope, so I'm thinking forward, when the pandemic ends, I think these are all the things that you can do. But you have a good point, right? So in the near future, let's say if the place is done, but yet, we can't really have all these crowds. So I think, that's also a good idea as to how we can put all these things online, to make people get attracted first, right, before they even get there. Right, that's a very good point. Yeah.
John, you mentioned just now about the Cosmos stargazing area, because just to inform you, actually the Cosmos stargazing area is just a kind of a small open area between the main part of the museum and the office. So they're going to put the so-called building there, or the container, to build up the Cosmos area. But actually away from the office, where we used to launch the water rocket, it's quite a big open area, like a kind of a field, sloping field. Let's say in the Cosmos area, not enough space for stargazing, we go over to the big padang there, behind there. Of course, SOP we can put about at least 100 people with a telescope there. We have done a lot of water rocket events before, and have stargazed there before. Quite a big area, so we can move over there. Now the other one is about this food item of astronomical, what they call name. I like it because our club tried before twice, many years ago, during Astronomy Week. We went to the what they call Sungai Dua to make those cookies, cakes, look like pattern, photo and so on. 200 pieces, half an hour also long. But of course, you must innovate lah. So a lot of
Okay.
things
Yes,
can be
definitely.
Dr. Chong,
yeah.
Dr. Chong ada question from Facebook kan Chandran.
Yes.
He asked. I think I have to answer that. One, whether the facilities are open for the public.
Yes.
For the time being, it is not open because we are following the SOP from KKM. So up to now, other than KKM, we have what we call USM Nerve Center that
Yes.
will decide whether all the SOP and the procedures lah. So we always consult the nerve center. So the latest status, we we used to close, but now the latest status, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm right, we will be open. Maybe next week or a week after that, we will be open, but only by invitation, by tempahan booking. So we will create an online booking system to allow people to do advance booking. So only not walk-in. We can't accept walk-in. So you have to do booking. But of course, with the proper SOP, proper proof that you have taken your vaccine and so on and so forth.
Yes.
The only thing that I feel a bit sad about is that we cannot allow children to come in.
Yes.
So until I don't know, until we reach an endemic situation, I don't know.
Yeah.
But for the time being, under 17 or something, I have to go back and look at the SOP. We can't allow. So only people older than 17 or 15. But we will open, I think next week by tempahan, by booking. So that's one thing. Another question is programs. Same person, Chandran asked. All our programs went haywire. All our programs went haywire because of the MCO. Everything went upside down. So everything cancelled, everything postponed. So we have to redevelop a new program. Not necessarily for this year, because this year we only have few months. We are planning ahead for next year. So I like Mr. John dengan Joanne's suggestion. I think I agree with the fact that we need to also think about how to convert our existing programs into online version. So that's one thing that we are thinking about, how to convert some of the programs that we have been doing, workshops like Dr. Chong buat workshop spectrohelioscope and so on.
Yeah.
Macam mana kita boleh jadikan itu satu kegiatan atas talian online workshop. So that's one thing. Another thing is Dr. John punya suggestion. Itu suggestion yang terbaik. Saya akan immediately implement suggestion tu. Semua suggestion tu saya setuju. Saya tak payah bayar consultation ya. Sebab itu cadangan yang terbaik. So we will have a Cosmos, a space concept, a space theme cafe di situ. So saya akan guna semua nama-nama yang dicadangkan oleh Emma, Laila sini. Nasi kandar Jupiter, cendol komen, durian. Okey, nasi kandar Big Bang.
Ya,
Okey,
boleh.
Milky Way curry.
Ya.
So,
Doktor, jangan bagi tahu dulu, nanti orang yang Facebook dia nampak dia je curi dulu.
tak apa. Tapi sekarang ini open ended kan. This functions probably some other people also are watching it. So tengoklah siapa pandai dia dapat lah. Anyway, for me what is important other than that, of course we want to make it exciting. That's why we are going to curate. Going to come up with a package or a program, leaflets both online and offline that we can share. So we need to schedule everything because of the pandemic, everything went haywire. We can't really plan in a very uncertain situation. But now hopefully things will settle so we can start to replan again. So we will do that. We will use that suggestion. Even if somebody else are doing it, is okay. I think I've seen some space concept cafes in many places, including in Japan. The movies can all movies can be screened at the Cosmos. The Cosmos has better space for movies. This one, because it is more small, it's smaller actually. The scale is smaller, and it is also a bit difficult to sit around. The other space tu memang ada cafe akan jadi tempat yang menarik untuk orang hang out lah. Okay, so thank you very much. Dr. John, silakan. Yeah.
Pagala, I have a suggestion. Straight away, we have to implement, Actually, now, we only do stargazing in Balai Chirap Choong Kiat in Balai Pulau. And
Okay.
that dome was still open. I still used to go lah. Usually Saturday, Sunday, sometimes at night to use the Balai Chirap. But now under full lockdown, you cannot. So actually, on May 26, there was a Gerhana Bulan Separa. Pasu solat.
Okay.
So Dr. John Su, he wrote a letter to get our this Professor Muhammad Roslan, Nerve Center permission. He gave us permission, that I, Dr. John, and another 2 students, top astronomy, go outside Rumah Tetomu USM to look at the Batuat, to take picture of the Gerhana as it comes out in the east. But a few days later, after applying later, full lockdown, so we cannot do. So what I'm saying is that for us, where we do stargazing after my retirement, Kapasing Live every Saturday night. But now cannot. So if possible, by invitation, if there's any special event, we will do it behind the museum. Behind the museum, Lanchau Rocket Air, there we do stargazing. Of course, we will inform the, what we call this, pengarah inform the keselamatan. So everything tamat 12 midnight, stop. All right? But before 12 midnight, you can see meteor shower, conjunction, all kinds of events, So we start with our own members first. Astronomy Club member, USM, Astro Society of Penang, and some of the what they call astronomers, amateur astronomers at Penang come museum. Okay, they fulfill all the SOP lah, double vaccination. So any specific event, we let you know. All right, and of course, just to let you know, whenever they go to Pusat Pala Sheikh Tahir, they take any picture there, they must surrender a copy of the picture to Pusat Pala Sheikh Tahir. So also, if you come behind the museum to take picture, please give 1 copy to museum. So in museum,
of course.
So we hope to do. And just let you know, before MCO, Dr. John has been doing his weekly stargazing in Parangkawat Friday night. Like we were doing for years in Parangkawat. So Dr. John was doing the Friday night stargazing in Parangkawat. So we hopefully MCO all lifted. From time to time, Dr. John Su, you bring your astronomy student to behind the museum for stargazing behind the museum. Because there is relatively much darker than Parangkawat. Parangkawat, if there's a stadium, olahraga, there's some event going on very bright. Go behind the museum, very dark. So you can try to do a stargazing behind the museum there. Very nice, So I suggest that other acara astronomy istimewa, kita buat belakang museum. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good suggestion because we have the course ZCE 275 also, the Introduction to Astronomy, and I mean I let it. There was only one chance that I had while I was teaching that we actually get to get the students to use the telescopes and see. So unfortunately, I think this time round for those students who want to take this course for this coming semester, you might not have a chance yet because of the online teaching and all that. But we will try to apply for those who will be in school. At least some of you get to have the hands-on. And yes, I think maybe at that time we can talk to Pengarah Hasnul and also Encik Aizwan to ask for permission to use the place. But thank you very much for the suggestion.
And John, I understand the museum still got 3 telescopes we can use.
Yeah.
They got 3 telescopes.
I see.
Of course, pusat fizik pun ada. Dengan museum pun ada. So we can have more telescope. Yeah. So CK, so are you able when you are free to come and promote astronomy in the museum, stargazing behind the museum? With permission?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if Dr. Chong Su also allow us to go on Friday, maybe we can join them.
Yeah, sure.
But now a bit difficult.
Yeah.
We'll see how
we have to wait for this to end first.
Yeah, once it's end, then we can start to revise everything.
Yes.
The new students will register I don't know, the something mid of this month, but only I think first year students. Um, uh, but that's in stages, the second year and the third year. But they still can't do physical classes. As far as I know, all classes are still online. It's just that from the previous approach of the university, they really want certain activities that can be done with strict SOP that will allow students to blend in, so not stressful. We call it a mental health intervention. So we don't want, because there were cases where students were very stressful. There were many sad cases of students being stressful, so on, so forth. So we need to do certain things. So stargazing can also be, if you can do it in according to SOP, proper SOP. It can also be introduced to the first year as a part of the first year programs. But that one, don't worry. That one I can work together with the nerve center. But I need the astronomy club people to show their commitment lah with me. So because I can't do everything, so even my staff also are limited in terms of numbers. So we need to work together. So they need to eventually come, and we have to sit down and see what we can do lah. But don't worry lah, we are very supportive. Dr. Chong, can you show some other pictures that we have passed to you before? Just
I didn't, because I told this Aizwan ada gambar tadi. Boleh tunjuk, boleh share?
Gambar lain tu. Aizwan,
Actually, I told Aizwan, I got at least about 50 gigabyte of the pictures in museum and gallery lah. 200 pictures, too many to show.
Kita akan share sebentar lagi, Azman. Kita akan share, ya.
Boleh share. Gambar-gambar aktiviti club astronomi di museum dan gallery. Lama. Lain gambar. Inilah, ini di museum masuk kampung lah. Di mana? Di Tolo Intan ke, Pengarah?
Forgot already. So many places lah, Dr. Chong, Terengganu, Tolo Intan. Everywhere. This one, I don't know. Forgot. Next one, tengok yang lain.
Ada lain.
So we have
ada banyak gambar.
Before COVID.
Tengok bintang.
Ini
di Kuala Kangsar ni.
Ya.
Pulau Sultan Idris 2.
Yeah. This is a primary school in Kuala Kangsar. They built an astronomy resource room, and they put in their own planetarium. One room for exhibit, another room for planetarium. A primary school in Kuala Kangsar, next to Royal Malay College.
Ya.
Lagi gambar. Ini belakang dia behind the museum. So John,
next,
stargazing. This one, Jamil doing always water rocket, only water rocket lah. No other activities. A lot of activities, what? Ini depan museum. Inilah Rachel. Sorry, introducing Bubble Man. That's me. Okay. Next, lagi.
Next.
Ada lagi banyak gambar.
Foto lain pula. Saya sikit benar. Foto banyak saya bagi tadi, mana dia?
Ada. Jamil.
Sekejap. Tadi ada siapa, Mr. Kudip Singh, suggesting we put large screen TV in front of USM entrance to promote Cosmos and dive through under SOP. Okay, very good idea. SD imaging is always an added feature. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Awesome ideas.
Inilah. This is with I think this is center. This is not the largest, Pengarah. We have put satu orang dewasa dalam satu bubble, and that inside bubble inside the museum before. Yeah. Ini yang buat parachute untuk roket air, parachute. Parachute. Okay, next. Next. So Rachel and Joanne and the club members, we have done, I use the word uncountable workshop activities in the museum.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so many.
over, next week another one, top one day, another one non-stop. And then, of course, this is 2012, the rarest of the rare event Pengala is
Yeah. This one once in a lifetime.
once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
Where
this one.
Venus crossed in front of the sun, very rare. Yeah.
This one record attendance, 5,000 people came. 5,000.
And sorry,
Yeah,
the whole morning I was very angry. Why I have no time to look? Everyone interview.
yeah. 5,000 people in the morning came. Oh man. Yeah. But it's a once in a lifetime. I got some pictures of that.
Yeah.
Can you depan lagi.
This is Choon Kiat, a famous painting by an Italian artist just now, the Venus Transit.
Lagi. Ah, ini tadi gambar tu. Okay. Next. So these are some, but these pictures quality are not good. These are pictures during the transit Venus lah.
Yes. Yeah.
So many people came. 5,000, around 5,000. All over the side of the. So we even went up to the roof.
Yes.
And we fit the image live in the building, in the museum. We fed the image on the screen of the wayang kulit. Yeah. I just recall back. We have Cosmodome also, Chong Kiat.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this one is the live feed of the one that we took. You use the telescope from we put up on the rooftop and we fed live on the screen. Live streaming.
Venus Transit 2012.
Yeah, this one once in a lifetime. Yeah. Awesome event. So hopefully we can do something like this. I know it's not Transit Venus lah, but something else. But around, in the same spirit lah, of excitement, of learning, learning in a very exciting way lah, kan?
Yes.
Very casual and exciting way. It's more of experiencing rather than learning. Yeah. This very nice. These pictures, I didn't have the high definition pictures.
Yeah.
Anyway, at least we can see some lah. Okay, next picture tengok apa lagi ada. Ada gambar lain. Ada kecil, tak berapa nampak. Okay.
Kecil.
Tu semua. So we already have we had many school children coming in before. So now with this new normal, with this new SOP, we have to rethink about how we want to approach this. We want to maintain the spirit. Yeah, so sad that we have to encounter this pandemic.
Yeah.
But we have to readapt to the current situation. That's the challenge lah. But I really missed all this lah. I really missed this kind of.
Yes.
The energy was so exciting.
Yeah. Pagara, you mentioned just now the Cosmodome Planetarium. Maybe Choon Kiat can help you to check how to revive it lah. Huh?
No, we have the planetarium, the small one. That one is in the room.
Yeah.
We also have the portable.
Yeah, the portable one. I'm saying the
portable one. So that one the Cosmodome is okay, but the projector is broken already.
Yeah.
If we want to do something, we need to have a new projector. I saw a new projection system. I saw somewhere. I think I saw from Chong Kiat. Chong Kiat did something in the shopping complex. Chong Kiat, ada tak Chong Kiat?
Maybe because we did in so far we did in quite a number of shopping complex, Learning Plaza, Queensway Mall, even in Aeon, I think in the Bukit Mertajam and a lot of other places. Yeah. So the projection system now I think got quite a number of choice lah. Probably we'll change it to what we call the fish eye projection system lah.
Yeah, that is better.
Yeah, that one, the fisheye will produce a very nice, sharp image all around the dome. So that one can be discussed more, when we finalize small thing. Yeah, that one, no problem. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Kudip Singh suggested Prof. Ravichandran has vision to get in touch with Indian space research. Wow, that's interesting. AIMS universities, okay, all right. Singatani, okay. We'll look at it. Okay.
Pengarah actually AIMS University, Professor Ravi Chandra invited me and Choon Kiat 2 kali. We have been there. So we even bought some telescope and I talked there on astronomy. The current Vice Chancellor is no more Ravi Chandran, but Ravi Chandran is still lecturer there. They are lecturing on astronomy. So this there was a Gerhana Bulan Separa. I gave a talk there. Very good. So the Dean of the Engine Department, they have one of their final year courses on sustainability. They want to include astronomy in that course for AIMS University. Final year student. Yeah.
This one is in Tuba, Langkawi. This one we did science and seni. We study science and seni. Conceptually, the museum is Museum of Art and Science, as what Dr. Chong had mentioned before in the beginning of his presentation. So it's not only art museum, and it is also not only science museum, it is art and science museum. In fact, it was, as far as I know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, it was the first museum in the region, Southeast Asian region, even before Singapore, that introduced or showcase both the art and sciences under one roof. So it was even before Singapore Art and Science Museum. Of course, Singapore Art and Science Museum is a national project. This one is just a project by a university. But Hamzah Senduk was already ahead of even his time during that period in 1990s. So thankfully we have this museum. So the mandate it's not just to showcase art, but also to showcase science, the sciences, but more importantly, convergence between the art and science. So we translated this idea of the convergence of art and science for school. So this one we tested the project at Tuba, a very kampung area lah, very nice kampung actually. We had very interesting time there. So we did this program where we combine both art and science workshops and expose the workshops to the students. Ada gambar lain kita? Ni Tuba, very nice, very interesting.
Interesting.
Ada Padang.
Yeah. And I remember Pengarah, the first year the USM Club joined the museum, 1994. There was an American museum researcher, a woman, came to museum lah. That time, before it was called Muzium Galeri Tuanku Fauziah. And then she spoke to, that time was Pemangku curator Encik Adnan. So she told him, and I overheard that she has been to many museums in Malacca, in Malaysia, all over. She said that USM Museum is a very unique art and science. She had never seen it before. Huh?
Yeah.
1994. Yeah.
Because that time there was no such concept, convergence of art and science. Any museum that converges both the arts and sciences, not around in Southeast Asia during that time, as far as I know. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So, Dr. Chong, bolehlah kita pergi ke Sungai Petani nanti. Jumpa dengan Vice Chancellor AIMS and see what we can do.
Yes. Yeah. So it may be subsequently, Pengarah Hasrul, if there's any chance, I will talk to them to include the astronomy part of the course in their final course. Maybe we say that if in future AIMS student and staff got anything to do with astronomy, if they want to learn, come to Muzium Galeri Tuanku Fauziah, they can teach them.
Ni Emma waktu masih gadis. Emma masih muda. Tapi sekarang pun masih muda je.
Emma is another session now. Masih muda. Yeah.
What do you mean by another session?
Emma.
I link Perlis Tindakan with Raja Perempuan Perlis also to step Oh, Raja Perempuan Perlis. Okay. The
Yeah.
daughter of Tuanku Fauziah lah.
Yeah.
Interested in astronomy events to come to Perlis.
Just
Okay.
let you know, last year, 2020, YB Gan Ailing and Adon from Perlis, Dr. Chong, our Tuanku Puan lah. We call her Puan. She's a Raja Puan Muda, the wife of the, I think, Raja Muda, want to have a big stargazing. Can you do it? We did it, no? In Chuping. Sekolah rendah di Chuping, no? And
Very
on
good.
1,000 orang dari itu penduduk pergi sana. Very
Yeah.
stargazing.
Yeah.
Many of you got so many telescopes. She was very happy. And then we had a big, long time to Sembang. They want to promote astro pelancongan in Perlis.
Definitely good.
After that got lockdown, but she's still keen, you know. So basically, we have located a few dark areas in Perlis. We're going to scout around. We built a balai cerap for the people of Perlis and for the tourists going to Perlis. Raja Perempuan Muda lah. She's keen on this project, astro tourism in Perlis.
She's the daughter of Tuanku Fauziah. So
I see. Yeah.
So astrotourism, of course, astrotourism must tie in also with the good thing about astrotourism is that we can sort of force the authority to practice dark sky.
Yes.
Make sure the air is clean. So we are, we can use that as a part of the campaign. So they want to turn a particular place into astrotourism place. It has to be ecologically good. It has to conform to the dark sky criteria. So good lah. Good for Perlis. Okay, good for Perlis. I love that concept. But anyway, I think I put down here as a note. If we can rentas negeri, maybe we can slowly lah, maybe not immediately November ke December. We can think about doing something with AIMS, Dr. Chong.
Yeah, AIMS, very dark sky. I can check with them. Okay.
Right.
CK, can you look at our astronomy calendar until end of this year? See any special event where there's tambah bulan sangat cerah. We can do it behind the museum. We find out. Okay.
So very good.
The first stargazing we go do like in USM, many people, a limited amount of people, and then under control. All right, and then we do it lah. Yeah.
So it's good that we go there. Kita tengok apa kita boleh buat. Especially students lah. I think university students are our future again. So we need to cultivate not only the interest in astronomy, or also and also the space science, but also I think more importantly, apa dia panggil, environment. Dr. Chong kan it's very critical. We really have to rely on the younger generations. We have to pass that to the younger generations. So hopefully we can tie in this into a big picture of sustainability, the environment, everything. So it's not just astronomy per se, but how the whole thing. For me, astronomy is a knowledge that shows that I am a small part of a larger whole.
Yes.
And even though it is small, we are like in the middle. Compared to the Planck level, Planck scale to the cosmic scale, we are in the middle. And it's interesting also if you look at Eastern cosmologies, Eastern traditions from Hinduism to Taoism to Malay tradition, Islamic tradition. We are also called mediator, in the middle. In the middle. So we are connected to the whole scale of existence, from the Planck scale to the cosmic scale, by this thing called nadi. In Hinduism, it's called nadi. Nadi means the nerve, nadi. So for me, it's very beautiful, and that is why I think beyond just knowledge and facts, astronomy is where we can connect everybody. We can connect. We are all sharing the same sky. So I love that about astronomy, even though I'm not an astronomy expert. So we can use that also. Other than For astrotourism, we can also promote USM as again a test for this dark sky Emma punya campaign.
Yes.
So we can sit down, Emma can come, and then I can set a time. The Vice Chancellor is very cool guy.
Yes.
He's a very young. He's I think the youngest Vice Chancellor in Malaysia, I think. So we can hang out with him and propose this idea of using USM as a location for dark sky, and create awareness about the air quality and also the light quality. I think I like that also. Okay, so what suggestion?
Yeah, for many years, when you go to some schools in the kampong, in the small town, we talk about dark sky, So if NGTF is keen, so we hope to gather a lot of information about dark sky awareness. So we get feedback from the school, from the public in Penang and Kawasan Utara. We keep the information in NGTF. So we hope NGTF is a so-called a northern chapter of dark sky awareness in Malaysia. We collect all the information, put in NGTF. Yeah. Now, there's another thing, Pagara, I feel is this is a bit longer term. I'm still talking about the observatory in museum. Actually, previously we were supposed to get it, but something happened. So now we hope that in future they can still apply for the nice baristra that can allow students to do their final year project and master degree PhD study the equipment because we have applied for Pusat Physics many times. Unit Palak also cannot. So we are now hope that Muzium Galeri can make the dream of the astronomy community in USM come true. So you can have this. We are not saying a big objective to compare with Japan or America. Something reasonable, all right? Like that what they have in UNC Malaya. UNC Malaya got research objective for many years. So if that's the case, then I'm sure Dr. John Su and his student and me and my club, society members club, we go to museum. Imagine no more PKB, we go there every night. Collect data every night. And then we can even get published their master's thesis, PhD thesis from there. Pengarap, Dime got some of his MSc thesis data from the Ted Dome Observatory.
Wow.
Part of his data from there, because the rest is from Langkawi Observatory and from Malacca Art Colosmi. So I'm saying that if you have that observatory in the museum, then we are going to use it all the time.
Okay. All right, Dr. Chong, can you show back you show the slide of the cosmos?
Yes, sure.
Can you show back? Okay.
Okay.
Can explain a bit.
Okay.
Unshare and share.
I share now. Wait, let me see. Share.
Okay, that would be ideally the idea. Okay, stay here. Go back. Okay, maybe this one. You see the top part already. This is my angan-angan lah, my ambition. The top part is where we can go to the roof of the museum.
Yes.
Using a ramp or what we call catwalk.
Yes.
To what do you call it just now? Balai cerap.
Yeah, obviously, balai cerap.
So that's my idea. So I do this first. This will cost about certain amount. I cannot reveal the cost because of the OSA again. But anyway, the plan is do this first. If this is okay, then we can continue with a ramp or catwalk to a balai cerap on top of the roof. That was the idea. So hopefully jadilah kan, kita plan lah, kita lukis dulu. But the spirit here, okay. There's a pressing question here from Shazwani. I have a very pressing concern. The museum isn't very accessible for us students unless we have a vehicle or are willing to walk. And if we consider it from an event planning perspective, people might be discouraged from participating if they hear that the event is being held all the way at the museum and at night. Well, I have to say I disagree with you, based not on sentiment, but based on actual evidence from our past experiences. That wasn't the case. We did few gigs during the day or at night. It was okay. We received, even at night people came. So I'm not sure whether that's right or not, but that is right from if we ask USM students. But I didn't do a proper study on that. We are going to do a proper study. We did audience research before, but the audience research we did was 2010, so can't be used. It's already like 11 years old, so it's not valid anymore. The finding is not valid anymore. But we got a lot from the audience research, so that we don't just make decisions out of nowhere. But as far as event is concerned, based from our previous examples, previous experiences, people came because we had a particular specific target group of people that we thought would be interested. So it's not like a wide net. We are more like a very narrow kind of a net. For example, during the Venus Transit Venus, we received 5,000 people coming in, buses upon buses coming in, only for an event that happened in the morning. So maybe for USM crowds, USM students and USM staff, maybe that the one that you wrote is correct. I suspect lah, but we have to do a research on that. We need to do a survey. I suspect for USM students, yes, many of them say, we don't want to go because it's too far away. But when we did organize programs, like we organized Carnival Bestari, Science Seni. Dr. Chong was also there, Chong Kiat also. Carnival Bestari, we did 3 times, I think. Average 20,000 for 4 days. See, that was good. That was good. And we received, we even had to get extra hands from the security to handle the traffics and the parking, the buses and so on. So I have to disagree with that perception lah. But we will try to confirm that by doing a proper survey.
But I need to say, from my experience, when I was in USM, many of the USM students were in Pusat Physics, which is quite far from the museum. So I was in the museum. They will walk from the physics to the museum. They will walk from the bank CIMB to the museum, no problem. Most of the students walk. But of course, if free, I would travel from the museum in my car, go and fetch one from the Sungai Dua Gate and go back to the museum, no problem. I've done that many times. But most of the students, jalan kaki, they do it. Know why? You know why? They do it. They enjoy doing the activities in the museum. They enjoy helping people in the museum. That's why they come. Yeah.
Okay, there's another one from Brian Lee. Okay, this one I saw already before. This has been discussed many times before, Lee. Okay, is it possible to have a special route for the USM bus to pass through museum? It is quite far for the students, especially students living in Desa Siswa, RSD, to travel to the museum. There used to be because we don't want to pencemaran lah kan kita. We are one of the university that is a part of this global sustainability. I don't know what is it called. So we have to make sure that we minimize the carbon footprint. So we don't want bus to go through, especially to that area, because that area is quite we want to maintain the greeniness of that area. That area is very beautiful actually. So there was a time where the university introduced this, what do you call it, Dr. Chong? Bungee, ada kereta yang dalam golf course.
Yeah.
We used to have this small car, battery powered probably.
Yeah.
Bungee. To ferry people to museum. I don't know what happened, but that one I wasn't the director during that time. But I saw that bungee. They use it to ferry people to areas that are far from the center of the campus. So maybe if we go align the suggestion of Brian, we will reintroduce that. So that will conform to the sort of our prokata to reduce the footprint, but at the same time allow those who are interested to come to the museum from the far away desas to come. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Hasnal, just want to add on to what Brian and Shazwani said. So both of them are actually part of this Club Astronomy from USM. So I think that their main concern is if they were to have frequent events, right? So it will not be very practical to every day or every week try to walk. I assume that probably for if it's a one-off event, like once in a while, they would be willing to walk. So one example I had was we used to have for the introduction to astronomy class, I made the students have their own practical session in Padang Kawat. So the reason Padang Kawat is chosen because it's very accessible and it's easily to get there. So I had one particular session, the final session, I told my students, say, we want to try to a very dark place, and we went to one of the Padangs, I think on the other gate. I don't know what's the name of that gate. Is I think is it Batu Uban gate, the one that's much darker than usual. So the students had quite a bit of trouble. I saw them walking all the way, from wherever they came from. So I mean, I believe one-off events, they may find it okay, never mind, one time we walk. But if let's say we will have like frequent things, I think maybe that I think that's their sentiment from what I understand. So maybe it's either we can, but I assume that it's probably difficult to cater for this kind of things because maybe frequent events we don't probably have a lot of crowds. But my suggestion, like what you mentioned, the buggy car, or maybe like special sessions, maybe just for that particular event, we can set up like ferry service, maybe a van service that drives them from a certain area. We can fetch the crowds in. I think that can be arranged. I would say even in fact physics we have a van, right? So maybe we can just look with them, say what can we like sewa, and then maybe just ferry for that particular event. That can be hopefully I think that can be a suggestion.
We can I think we can tap into this and turn it into something exciting and positive. We already have a nice lorry and van. We can think about how we can use that to like people can we have a call center. Hey, I want to go to the MGTF. I'm so far. So we use this ferry service, like as a way of branding it as well, so we can
Sure.
so we turn this into not a problem, but we turn it into something positive. Other than the bungee, so I'm going to check with this which department is maybe under pembangunan. There used to be this bungee, so maybe I can turn the bungee into interesting bungee by design, and also use that as a way to promote the museum as well as to ferry people. So we have I need the reasons. So I need the reasons to use vehicle. If not, why you want to use vehicle? So now I have this evidence, people saying, and there's already documented on the chat here. So I can, bring it up and say, okay, people need to have a vehicle, a transportation, something to bring them to the museum because it's far away. So it's good. I think I will use this as a way of, also branding the place, and at the same time solving the accessibility problem. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How I use the word customer come to the museum. For many years in the museum in the USM, they have to go to a postal school. After I say about 10 years, by the year 1995, they know USM quite well, the club, and they come to the museum. So by the time I retire, we don't have to promote our name anymore. The word of mouth will go to other schools. So basically, this week on Monday, a tuition center from this what they call this Suburban Park will come. They want to have 2 workshops. Let's say water rocket, soap bubble, and friendship show. It's a package lah. And then another day on the same week, another school from Penang Island will come. So they will call us. So once they call us, I'll go. Like I said, sometimes I go there with 2 students to do the first 2 workshops. Sorry, but the other student, they are still in the museum, they have to walk. But if I'm free, I'll go and drive them. But actually, most of the time, the USM club students will walk there. But let's say, if some big event, like what Pengala say, we can use the facilities transport from the museum. But this what you so the calls to the museum, Hafizah, the museum, Shikin call to me. All every day we get call, you know. So and from Malacca, from KL, from Singapore, they keep on calling. So it's a kind of non-stop what they call booking we have lah. Huh? Yeah.
We used to have that. That's the reason, because I don't know what you call it, a captured crowd, or I don't know, permanent clients, or loyal clients, or what. We already have that. So we all before the pandemic, that has been the tradition. We always have bookings from schools, including international schools, for astronomy related, for our programs lah, our Dr. Chung's punya workshop. So that has always been the case. So almost to a point that okay, we don't have to do any promotion. Plus, promotion costs a lot. And please bear in mind that I'm running not a private museum or museum sponsored, owned by a rich person. This is a government museum, and you have to understand the perception towards museums within the structure or administration of a university. In fact, when I go to other this university museum international conference, most university museums were asked to close down because they were told that they were not relevant anymore. So luckily we are not that. So we are very sort of secure. We are in a very secure position. Back to the suggestion about the transport. I think we will turn it into a good way of promoting the museum.
Yes.
We have this hop on to FGTF vehicle, you know. So yeah, that is where we turn problem into something international, interesting potentials.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Right? Can
Of
help.
course, there's something important we all should understand is like this. I would think that what museum reviving astronomy is excellent for us, but museum cannot do it in isolation. Meaning, the activities in the museum must be linked with Choon Kiat's observatory, Sheikh Tahir, observatory in Tech Dome, and the other observatories in Penang in the school, so that there's a networking of astronomy organizations in Penang. And museum and gallery is, if you want to say, big brother lah, big brother. So you link up all the other. So in future, let's say another special event during daytime, this is very, very rare. So museum can easily call upon all the other schools and organizations in Penang to come and join us. But at the same time, if there's another event in College University Pulau Pinang, and they invite us, of course we must go and help them. So basically, we are doing this in the museum as part of a big community of astronomy activities in Penang. Of course,
Dr. Chong.
It's a major
Dr.
player.
Chong.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. My
Yeah,
name
right.
is Laila. You still remember me, Laila?
Yeah, Laila, we all remember you. Apa khabar? So Laila,
Berkhabar baik.
John
Actually,
was in the museum last time. Laila.
okay, actually I involving with tourism. Okay, I'm also a tour guide. Okay.
Put on your
Why not? We propose to the MOTEC, maybe we do a mapping, astro tourism mapping.
Yeah. I think
okay, we plot all the balai cerap in Penang.
Ada
maybe we
9
can
sekarang.
propose that.
Ada 9 sekarang. Okay.
Yeah. That was the best.
So Laila, can you be our liaison person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
sure.
That, with the museum, we link with all the other balai cerap in Pulau Pinang lah. And I have all the contact with all the balai cerap. Of course, CK has the oldest balai cerap also. We can link to CK also. Yeah.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
Because I see the potential on it.
Yeah.
Astro tourism is the best. Education tourism. It will be combined.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. But tadi Dr. Chong ada cakap big brother kan?
Yeah.
I think we have a big sister. The planetarium will be the big sister lah. the planetarium negara kan. So that one is our big sister lah. So I also always check on the planetarium programs because that will be my big reference and that will be the national reference.
Yeah.
But also international. But international, anytime I look at the international planetarium or international museums, I will be very jealous and I got stressful. Anyway, astrotourism is very good idea. Another one here, suggestion, we help college matrikulasi Perai to set up their own museum art gallery.
Yeah.
Okay, we have done that. We help a school in Kuala Kangsar to
Yeah.
set up their science gallery. It was called Gallery Science Center
Yeah.
in a school in Kuala Kangsar. So
Yeah.
I, together with Dr. Chong, we set up that science gallery.
With
From
planetarium. With a planetarium.
yeah, with a planetarium with only 50,000 K at that time.
Yeah, yeah,
So we use a lot of recycled materials, and they also use an existing old colonial buildings in the school compound to turn it into a science gallery. So we did that before. So we if you call us, we will help. Of course, of course, I have to work with Dr. Chong lah.
Sure.
He is the expert in science, kan?
Of course, Dr. John Su. Always Dr. John Su. USM Club and
okay.
me, the Astro Society of Penang. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can do that. We are happy to help set up a college matrikulasi or even school also. Yeah. SMK apa ni? Hang E School, SMK Chung Ling,
Yeah.
Hilltop Waterfall Committee also want to set up museum, gallery and observation center. Will help with help of me. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay. But I can't promise lah. We also have our own kerja. So we need to make sure that our kerja is done. But at the same, Dr. Cho, of course, is already a free man. He's a kecil guy.
Yeah.
So I can help on the design, on the concept, on the content. John and Dr. Chong lah. But I will come in helping the design. We help to design the USM's interactive gallery for medical sciences in Kubang Krian.
Wow.
Yeah. So that one completed already, now in the process of constructing from an old multi-purpose lab. So we turn it into an interactive gallery. So that one I helped to design. Of course, the concept, everything came from them. But design-wise, I helped that. But that was a very interesting project also. So I like involving in that kind of project. So don't worry, we can help, inshallah.
Pengala, one thing, I see now our Daim is in the participant list, Daim, can you say something? Daim, please say something.
Apa Daim? Diam lah.
Daim, unmute and show your face. Daim, are you there?
Dia malu ah.
Yeah, Daim, are you there? Because Pengala, Daim is our society's representative for IAU Astronomy Outreach Activity. Remember IAU? It's a big professional astronomy organization in the world, the biggest one. So Daim is our society's representative in astronomy outreach for IAU for Malaysia.
Okay. I will kejar him.
Yeah. Daim, where are you? Daim, pick up.
Yeah, he went somewhere. Okay, what else? Did I miss anything? Did I miss any chatting here? I hope I didn't miss anything. Okay, merchandise, special session, merchandise. Yeah, merchandise also, we will work on that. Please bear in mind, USM, MGTF is not a rich entity. So most of the time we are doing this out of passion. We can put elderly astronomers at OKUs, and above all VIPUs, RAM to able astronomers slide for young astronomers. Okay, right. Yeah, that's MGTF is for the ground floor. Yes, OKU, but the first floor we have issue there. I'm working with the pembangunan because it's an old building, colonial building. Luckily, it's not listed yet. If it is listed, we can't do anything. We can't change anything inside. So in terms of accessibility for OKU, a bit limited on the upper floor. Okay, the ground floor. Okay. Golf bungees, yes. Jadi the okay. Okay.
So, Pengarah, one final suggestion is that eventually we hope the Cosmos all build up.
Yeah. Pray for it.
Tak ada lagi MCO, all open out. So
Yeah.
with all the new facilities all built up already in the museum, outside and inside, then
Yeah.
NGTF should go on a big publicity campaign. But now,
We will.
without because of the lockdown, so people are like what they call lost contact with the astronomy events. So
Of course.
NGTF, not only on the internet, on the big publicity on TV and so on, to create back the awareness. And maybe we will write a letter. You should send it to JPN Pulau Pinang to tell them to inform all the sekolah kerajaan di Pulau Pinang, 300 primary school, 100 secondary school. Okay, we are back. All right, MDTF is back. Then they know. So we must promote aggressively. And if the customers keep on coming, they want more every week, no problem. We must think solve it. Of course, you have to charge them, but of course, reasonable charges. I think so far in the museum, nobody complained about the charges. So you must go back on a big publicity campaign to create the awareness again. That's it.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. We will. Thank you very much for the support. That's it. I think that's about it, Dr. Chong. Dr. Chong, as a moderator, I leave it to you.
Yeah, all right. So thanks a lot, Pengarah Hasul, for inviting us for this session. All right. So John, any closing remark?
Nothing from me. I think it was a very good session, a lot of brainstorming, and I hope that we can realize all these comments and everything.
Yeah.
Looking forward as well.
Yeah.
Just want to say the students didn't talk a lot today, but yeah, hopefully if you guys have any questions, anything you want me to send to Dr. Asno or Dr. Chong, please do contact me, let me know. Right, don't be shy, all right?
I think you have to persuade them to set a time where they can sit down, come to the museum and see for themselves the 650 kaki persegi space.
Okay. Meter persegi.
Meter persegi, bukan kaki persegi. Sorry, mathematics saya fail masa SPM. So it's a big space. So come and look. Maybe we can think of it. And then I need them to sit down with me to plan for next year. At least I have a rough estimation of what's going to happen next year, so that I can start branding, selling, and promoting. So
sure, you can always contact me if you need. I can always get the students moving. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuan Asrul so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong. Thank you, Tuan Asrul.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pengarah Hasul. All right, John.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
USM, Rachel, and Joanne, and the USM club members. Okay. So just to give the USM club members, remember what Pengarah Hasul said. This is only the beginning. Now the fun is going to start. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Terima kasih Aizwan. Terima kasih.
Azwan, terima kasih. Laila.
Next project, takwim project.
Ya.
Takwim, ya.
2022.
Ya.
It will be very busy, inshallah. Okay, guys, everybody, thank you very much for joining.
And good night. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Tuan, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.